right? For whatever the volume, the right size fitting for you want, and pretend this is somebody coming to you, and you have a say in what the price is, right? So this is either I'm going to have somebody come to my site who's a miner, and I'm going to have an option, or I'm going to say I'm going to have mining on my site, and I'm going to choose. I'm going to say which customer is willing to give me more for my energy, right? And so I'll use an example of like in Ontario, which is where my Ontario, Canada is like that's where my focus area for in power trading. They have a lot of nuclear power, right? And so they've got, I think it's like 12 nuclear power plants. They've got a whole bunch of hydro, and they've got a bunch of wind. And there's something that's called surplus baseload generation. And that's an announcement from the grid operator saying, we got way too much generation, that we don't have enough demand and export capacity, that we actually need to do something to fix this. And so what they do is they actually have the nuclear plants ramp down for like 6 hours. And so nukes don't ramp. They're not designed to ramp, right? And so they had to kind of come up with a process to essentially take some nukes offline, as ramp them down slowly, and then keep them at the same, and then they ramp them back up. Now, imagine, there's an option that says, and there's two benefits on this one, saying, I'm a nuclear power plant, and instead of dispatching down, and there could be some payments that they're getting on Ontario that don't show up, but pretend that the choice is $0 for ramping down. It's going to say, I'm going to put on, I'm an 800 megawatt nuclear power plant. I'm going to put on 400 megawatts of Bitcoin mining, right? And then the scenario, instead of ramping down, you say, well, I'm just going to, push my power to this mining facility. And so now what you've done is you just create like a second customer that you weren't just kind of forced to say whatever the grid's going to take, you're going to take. And there's a second part is that, so we talked about what types of resources are flexible. And so flexibility is usually from like fossil fuels for dispatching up and down. But you can put on this Bitcoin miner attached to your nuclear facility, and you can send it power. And so since your Bitcoin mining site can be dialed up and dialed down for kind of how it's dispatched, you've just kind of put like a supercharger on your nuclear plant that you can now actually provide flexibility to the grid, because you have the ability to ramp your nuke through the Bitcoin mining.